Hello, this is part 1, segment 8 of Sociocracy for Worldies. This is the final segment on the basic concepts and will concern governance, self-organization, and semi-autonomy. Obviously, the concept of regulation and of autonomy and of organization is essential in how well an organizational model can be applied flexibly to a group. So let's take a look at what these terms mean in sociocracy. The term governance means the act of continuously deciding what to do to achieve the objectives, and also setting constraints or limitations on how and when things will be done, setting goals and due dates. Self-governance means that people are governing themselves within the constraints of a domain. So once the goals have been determined and the limitations and the time frame has been decided upon, people are able to work within these constraints to achieve their goals. Self-organization means that the people within domains or within the overall domain can coordinate work within the constraints which has been defined through governance. Operations, or doing the work, means that people do what needs to be done. They are guided in doing their work by coordination and by governance, namely objectives and constraints. And semi-autonomy means that people have autonomy to create value, so come up with actions or plans or ideas which will benefit responding to the organization's drivers, and are limited only by the constraints of their domain. So these different concepts are rather important in understanding clearly when undertaking any new type of action, plan, or setting some kind of goal. Now we talk here about two concepts which have to be clearly defined from each other, namely governance and organization. Governance is mainly what is decided upon or carried out as the larger domain as a whole, whereas things done within the framework of organization are done at an individual or group level and there is autonomy within this because the overall organization has set up the structures, the goals and the limitations or deadlines for these things. So governance is overall organization, and organization is the specific domains or groups of people working together. So when trying to decide if it's a question that needs to be taken to the larger group as a whole or within a specific group or within a domain, you have to see if the core function is necessary of governance to track, review, and evolve the decisions for objectives and defining the things that the organization needs to do, or if it's something that can be decided at a smaller level. So you can ask yourself the question, does this action require or benefit from an individual or a group decision? If the action would benefit from an individual or group decision, then it's a situation of governance and means that it has not been covered by a previous agreement and needs to still be agreed upon, decided upon, or changed. If the action would not benefit or does not require individual or group decision, that means that it's already been covered by a previous agreement, and people are free to act within that agreement, and it needs to be done right away. So there are some thoughts on governance, self-organization, and semi-autonomy. as these are key concepts within sociocracy in order to make it a lean and agile organizational model. People are able to do much more freely because of the clearly designed structures within governance and leading to self-organization and semi-autonomy. So that was the last of the basic concepts. In the next segment, we're going to take a look at what seems to be the first steps that need to be taken within an organization, and in this sense, the World Summit, if sociocracy is to be adopted.